What's going on, everybody? Blake Plonsky here for Global Dynasty Sports Talk Radio, your favorite broadcaster and podcast host. Coming at you, I got to do this. I got to talk about the Jordan Howard trade to my Philadelphia Eagles. When this trade went down last night, boy, was I happy. Was I over the moon about this? Some people may say, oh, pump the brakes, he's not that great. He fell off after his rookie year. Well, let's take a look at that, shall we? Let's take a look at that, and let's take a look at maybe some stats that some people aren't exactly looking at or taking the time to look at, and just giving their opinion just without any real factual data behind it. Let's take his career. Okay. He was the lead back in his rookie year, and he did pretty well, wouldn't you say? I would. And then Tyreek Cohen comes around, and he was basically a part-time back after that. So, do we really know what he can do as a 2-3 down back? As maybe the future focal point of the Philadelphia Eagles? A focal point that Doug Peterson has absolutely hammered home time and again in his media sessions about the fact that we need that bruiser back. We haven't had a bruiser running back ever since LeGarrette Blount left after we won the Super Bowl. So he left, before the beginning of last year, the 2018 season, and we haven't had it since. And at times the running game struggled, and I agreed. We need that bruiser running back. Corey Clement isn't it. Wendell Smallwood tried, he isn't it. Josh Adams tried, and he got hurt and kind of ran out of gas toward down the end of the stretch there. Insert Jordan Howard. He fits the bill and then some. If you watch what he does, he's a bruising running back. He waits for the hole to open up, he runs through it, he puts his head down, and he is good at wearing down opposing defenses. He's good at taking his licks and absolutely softening up the defense for the passing game, or maybe one of the change of pace backs, a la Corey Clement, Wendell Smallwood, guys that I mentioned just prior. I think that this is a great get, and let me tell you why. Let me go into some stats here for you. Let me look at my computer. I'm going to be glancing into the camera and kind of glancing at my computer at the same time, so bear with me here. When Chicago was under center in 2018, they went 76% run versus the pass. So 76% run and 24% pass. The number one most predictable offense in the entire NFL, Philadelphia, for their credit, was 27th. Number one, over here, most predictable, to least predictable, close to least predictable, rather, in 27. Chicago ran behind the center only 12% of the time the past 3 years. Past 3 years, Jordan Howard's only been in the league 3 years, so his entire career. For, let's see here, 12% of the time in the past 3 years, for 32nd in the NFL. Dead last. Philadelphia was number 9 in the NFL, top 10 in the NFL running behind the center with 31%. Philadelphia also has the number 1 rated run blocking center, Jason Kelce, re-signed for the next couple of years, decided to not retire, re-signed the next couple of years. Jason Kelce is the highest paid center in the NFL, and rightfully so. Philadelphia has had the number 1 rated run blocking center, Jason Kelce, in the last 2 years per Football Focus, pro Football Focus rather. And those guys know their stuff. Those guys are statisticians, and that is maybe putting it mildly. These guys know their numbers. These guys know their stats. Scroll down here. When Chicago was under center in 2018, let's see here, I put one of the things twice. Okay, let me scroll down here. All right. By personnel grouping the last 3 years. In the 11 formation, for personnel grouping, the 11 formation for Jordan Howard, 51% success rate and 5 yards per carry in the 11 formation. The Eagles have the third most run plays out of that very formation, where Jordan Howard has been most successful. The 12 formation, 43% success rate for 4.2 yards per carry. The 21 formation, 44% success rate with 4 yards per carry. And the 13 formation, 41% success rate with 3.3 yards per carry. The 11 formation out of the shotgun. So the same personnel on the field, but in the shotgun with Jordan Howard lining up next to Carson Wentz. 54% success rate with a 5.3 yard per carry clip. Philadelphia also, again, ran the third most runs out of the shotgun in the 11 formation in the past 3 years, Jordan Howard's entire career. Think about that for a second. Jordan Howard potentially being a full-time back if the Eagles give him the rock and say, run with it. Do those numbers not say success? Do not tilt toward success, even to the detractors out there? It's got to make you at least think about it. Sorry, I'm holding it with my left hand. Sorry. Think about it. There we go. And lastly, an overall view. This trade looks good for the Eagles, just outright. We get a potential feature back who is 24 years old, who has not as many hits and miles on his body in the last 3 years, because in the last 2 years, he played a part-time role with Tyreek Cohen. For this running back, we got him for a 6th-round pick, not this year, but in 2020, next year's draft. Can you not at least agree with that to say that that is a great move for something that we desperately needed as the Philadelphia Eagles, as us fans? They had a running back with the third most yards in the league since his career started. So he's been in the league again, 3 years. Was anyone aware that Jordan Howard had the third most rushing yards in the entire league, even as when he was a part-time back with Tyreek Cohen for the last 2 years? If you're saying that you knew that, I don't know if I believe you. Where the strength in the running game seems to perfectly align with the Philadelphia Eagles, Jordan Howard's strength in the running game. With running backs being a question mark entering the offseason, we look like we addressed another area in need of building around quarterback Carson Wentz. But this is just about Jordan Howard. Now, for everything that I've laid out, does that maybe not prove to maybe a strong signing? Excuse me. And maybe some good and better days for one Jordan Howard. I don't know. If you think I'm wrong, please tell me. Please comment on this video. If you think I'm right, tell me as well. But for us Philadelphia Eagles fans, myself, a lifelong Philadelphia Eagles fan myself, I am ecstatic and I absolutely love this move. I was bullish on getting Jordan Howard when I heard first that the Chicago Bears were thinking about moving him. I said the Eagles have to jump. We have to go for it. I was actually initially thinking maybe a 3rd-round pick, maybe a 4th-round pick. How we got them to give him up for a 6th-rounder, not this year, but next year. Howie Roseman knows how to work it, everybody. And please welcome Jordan Howard to the Philadelphia Eagles and give him a huge warm welcome. I think he's got big things ahead of him in the Philadelphia Eagles system and the upcoming years ahead. Fly, Eagles, fly. I'm excited, everybody. I hope you are. I'm Blake Plonsky. I'll talk to you soon, everybody. Peace.